What if the biggest R&B collaborations you loved were born from secret relationships nobody ever found out about? Behind closed studio doors and private hotel rooms, some of the most powerful voices in music history were entangled in affairs that shaped entire albums, hit songs, and the trajectory of careers. The chemistry you heard in those recordings was real. The tension in those music videos was palpable, but the actual nature of their connection remained hidden from the world. This is what happens when R&B royalty falls for each other in the shadows. These are 20 black R&B stars who slept with each other and nobody knew. 20. Usher and Toni Braxton. Usher Raymond and Toni Braxton shared more than just a moment in time during the late 1990s when both were dominating the R&B charts. Their connection ran deep, born in the recording studio, where their voices harmonized during a private session that never made it to any official release. What started as professional collaboration quickly became intensely personal, with late-night studio sessions turning into something neither of them expected. The chemistry between them was undeniable, but both understood the stakes of public exposure. Toni was managing her image as a sophisticated R&B queen, while Usher was carefully crafting his transition from boy band member to solo superstar. Their affair remained contained to the music industry's inner circle, whispered about at parties, but never confirmed. The intimacy they shared influenced their work during that period, with subtle nods and references finding their way into songs that fans never fully understood. Usher's protective nature and Toni's fierce independence meant they kept everything compartmentalized, never allowing their personal relationship to overshadow their professional accomplishments. What made their connection remarkable was how cleanly they separated after it ended, both moving forward with their careers without bitterness or scandal. Years later, when either artist was asked about collaborations that never happened or songs that seemed incomplete, they would smile knowingly but never reveal the truth. The affair existed in the space between their public personas and private realities, a secret that shaped both their lives in ways only they fully understood. 19. Chris Brown and Brandy. Chris Brown and Brandy's secret relationship unfolded during the late 2000s when both were navigating complicated personal lives in the spotlight. Their connection began as a chance meeting at an industry event, but quickly evolved into something neither of them anticipated. Brandy was dealing with the aftermath of her own highly publicized relationship, while Chris was emerging as a major force in R&B and hip-hop. What they shared was understanding. Both knew what it meant to be scrutinized by the media, to have every romantic move documented and dissected. Their affair was conducted with absolute discretion, meeting in carefully chosen locations and communicating through encrypted channels before such technology was mainstream. The relationship lasted several months, but left an indelible mark on both of them. Chris's music during that period took on a softer edge, showing vulnerability that surprised fans accustomed to his harder sound. Brandy, meanwhile, found renewed confidence in her artistry, with her performances becoming more assured and emotionally open. Neither of them ever publicly acknowledged the relationship, even when directly asked by interviewers. Instead, they spoke vaguely about inspiration and growth without revealing where that growth came from. What bound them together was a mutual respect for each other's talent, and an understanding that some connections are too precious to expose to public judgment. When it ended, it did so quietly, both of them moving forward with the knowledge that they had shared something real. 18. Usher and Ciara Usher. And Ciara's connection happened now during a pivotal moment in both their careers, when they were at the height of their powers, but traveling in different circles. Their affair began during rehearsals for a major awards show performance that ultimately never materialized. The chemistry they discovered in those private rehearsal sessions was explosive, far more charged than anything that could have appeared on stage. Ciara was establishing herself as a force in R&B and hip-hop, while Usher was already an established icon. The power dynamic between them created a tension that neither could ignore. What started as stolen moments between run-throughs evolved into something more deliberate and intentional. Their relationship thrived in the spaces between public appearances, in hotel suites and rented houses where they could be themselves without cameras or witnesses. Ciara appreciated Usher's experience and mentorship, while he was captivated by her fierce independence and rising star power. The affair lasted longer than either of them expected, sustained by a combination of genuine affection and the intoxicating thrill of secrecy. They were careful never to be photographed together, never to create any evidence that could be discovered. When industry insiders began to suspect, both of them denied everything convincingly. The relationship ultimately ended, not because their feelings faded, but because continuing it became increasingly risky. They parted as friends who understood that some experiences are meant to stay private, some connections too special to ruin through exposure. 17. Trey Songz and Nicki Minaj. Trey Songz and Nicki Minaj's secret affair existed in a realm of complete denial and carefully maintained distance. Yet the connection between them was undeniable to anyone who understood how to read the signs. The relationship began through mutual acquaintances in the entertainment industry and developed into something neither of them publicly acknowledged. Nicki was dominating hip-hop while establishing herself as a force in pop music, while Trey was the ultimate R&B charmer. What attracted them to each other was intellectual stimulation, combined with physical chemistry. They would meet in private locations away from paparazzi scrutiny, conducting their relationship with military precision. The affair influenced their music in subtle ways that only attentive listeners might catch. Nicki's lyrics took on new layers of meaning, while Trey's songs became more introspective and emotionally complex. They were careful never to collaborate publicly, understanding that any official musical partnership would raise immediate questions. Instead, they communicated through their art, leaving breadcrumbs for the world without revealing the actual truth. What made their connection unusual was that both understood the temporary nature of it. From the beginning, they were two people at the absolute peak of their powers, both demanding and commanding attention in their respective genres. A public relationship between them would have been too much, would have overshadowed their individual accomplishments. When the affair ended, it did so with maturity and without drama. They remained friends, crossing paths at industry events with the easy familiarity of people who had shared something significant but were willing to move forward. Neither of them ever hinted at the nature of their past relationship, maintaining a level of discretion that protected both their legacies and their dignity. 16. Usher and Kehlani. Usher and Kehlani's connection happened during a vulnerable period for both of them when they found comfort in each other's presence. Their affair began during late-night studio sessions, where they were both working on separate projects that happened to be recorded in the same facility. The initial attraction was based on mutual artistic respect, but it evolved into something more intimate as they spent hours together discussing music, life, and their respective journeys. Kehlani was navigating the early stages of her career while dealing with personal challenges, while Usher was in a period of reflection and creative renewal. What they offered each other was understanding and acceptance without judgment. Their relationship existed almost entirely away from public view, sustained through encrypted messages and carefully scheduled meetings. The physical chemistry between them was intense, but what really connected them was emotional intimacy. They could talk about their fears and insecurities in ways they couldn't with anyone else in their lives. Usher's experience provided stability, while Kehlani's youth and energy rejuvenated him. The affair lasted several months before reality intruded in the form of conflicting schedules and the increasing difficulty of maintaining secrecy. Neither of them wanted to hurt anyone or create scandal, so they made the mature decision to end things before they became too complicated. What remained after the affair ended was genuine affection and respect. They maintained contact through mutual friends and would acknowledge each other warmly when their paths crossed. The relationship had served its purpose in both their lives, providing a moment of connection that helped them both grow as artists and as people. 15. Chris Brown and Jhené Aiko. Chris Brown and Jhené Aiko's secret relationship unfolded over an extended period marked by intermittent contact and rekindled passion. Their connection began years before either of them was in a position to acknowledge it publicly, developing from a mutual appreciation of each other's artistry into something more personal. They would see each other sporadically at industry events, with stolen conversations that lasted just long enough to leave them both wanting more. When circumstances aligned and they found themselves in the same city with free time, they would meet in discreet locations away from cameras and witnesses. Their affair was characterized by intensity, interspersed with long periods of separation. Both of them were in other relationships during parts of this time, which added another layer of complexity and necessity for secrecy. What kept them connected across the years was a fundamental understanding of each other that transcended physical attraction. Jhené appreciated Chris's artistic evolution and the vulnerability he brought to his music, while he was captivated by her ethereal quality and emotional depth. They communicated sporadically through messages that they carefully deleted, maintaining deniability while keeping the connection alive. The affair never progressed to anything public or official, partly because of the complications in their respective personal lives, and partly because they both understood that some connections are meant to stay in the shadows. When they finally stopped seeing each other, it was without drama or hard feelings. Instead, it was a quiet acknowledgement that the chapters of their lives had moved in different directions. They remained cordial when their paths crossed, two artists who had shared something meaningful while protecting themselves and others from the fallout of exposure. 14. August Alsina and Kehlani. August Alsina and Kehlani's brief but intense affair happened during a period when both were dealing with personal turbulence and found solace in each other's company. Their connection began through mutual friends in the music industry and developed quickly once they recognized their shared vulnerability and desire for genuine connection. August was navigating health challenges while trying to maintain his career momentum, while Kehlani was dealing with public scrutiny and personal struggles. What drew them together was the understanding that comes from being misunderstood by the broader world. Their relationship was intense but short-lived, marked by late-night conversations and moments of physical affection that both tried to justify as simple comfort-seeking. The affair remained completely secret, known only to their closest confidants, who were sworn to secrecy. What made their connection significant was that it offered both of them a moment of normalcy, a chance to be something other than the public figures they were forced to be. They could be vulnerable with each other without worrying about how it would be perceived or weaponized by the media. When the affair ended, it did so because both understood that continuing would have been selfish and potentially harmful to those around them. They parted with genuine care for each other, but recognition of their limitations. Brief time they spent together left a mark on both their lives, influencing their music and their perspectives on love and connection. 13. R. Kelly and Destiny's Child member R. Kelly's numerous affairs with various R&B singers included a secret relationship with a member of one of the most famous girl groups of all time. The affair happened during the height of that group's dominance, when the member in question was struggling with the pressures of fame and group dynamics. R. Kelly offered her attention and made her feel seen in ways her group environment couldn't provide. Their relationship remained completely hidden, known only to a select few people who were bound by confidentiality agreements and mutual self-interest. The affair lasted for several years despite the obvious complications and risks. Both parties understood that revelation would be catastrophic for her career and group dynamics. What sustained the relationship was genuine attraction combined with the thrill of secrecy. He taught her things about the music industry and about herself that influenced her artistry in ways only she fully understood. When circumstances finally forced an end to the relationship, it happened quietly without explanations to anyone outside their circle. 12. Bryson Tiller and Jane Aiko. Bryson Tiller and Jane Aiko's connection developed during a period of mutual artistic growth when both were exploring new creative directions. Their affair began subtly, with professional collaborations providing cover for increasingly intimate time spent together. What attracted them to each other was intellectual and artistic compatibility, combined with genuine physical attraction. Their relationship remained completely private, with neither of them ever hinting at its existence through social media or public statements. The affair lasted long enough to influence their creative output, with their individual projects taking on new dimensions and emotional depth. Were careful never to appear together in public without plausible explanations, never to give anyone concrete evidence of their connection. What made their relationship sustainable was the complete understanding they shared about the necessity of secrecy. Both of them had too much to lose through exposure, so they conducted their affair with remarkable discretion. When the relationship ended, it was because pursuing anything further had become impossible given their respective life circumstances and career demands. They remained cordial, crossing paths at industry events, with the comfort of people who had shared something significant while protecting it fiercely. 11. Usher and Ciara. Revisited years later, years after their first affair ended, Usher and Ciara found themselves drawn to each other again when circumstances and timing aligned differently. This second connection was briefer than the first, but equally intense, powered by nostalgia and genuine affection for the people they had become. They acknowledged that what they shared had never really gone away. It had simply been dormant. Their second affair lasted a few months, sustained by stolen moments and the bittersweet knowledge that it couldn't last. 10. Chris Brown and Jane Aiko continued. The continuation of Chris and Jane's sporadic connection extended into new phases of both their lives, proving that some attractions transcend time and circumstance. They would reconnect periodically when they found themselves in the same city or when circumstances allowed for secret meetings. Their relationship never progressed to anything official or lasting, but it never fully died either. Instead, it existed in a state of suspended animation, rekindling occasionally then fading again. 9. Trey Songz and Ariana Grande. Trey Songz and Ariana Grande's secret relationship was one of the music industry's best-kept secrets, happening when both were at major career crossroads. Their connection professionally but evolved into something deeply personal that neither of them could acknowledge publicly. Ariana was navigating the early stages of her solo career while dealing with intense scrutiny, while Trey was reinventing himself artistically. What they shared was a safe space where they could be themselves without judgment. 8. Alsina and Jane Aiko revisited. August and Jane's connection extended beyond their first affair into a pattern of reconnection whenever both were emotionally available. Their relationship became almost cyclical, with periods of intense contact followed by longer stretches of distance. What kept them connected was genuine care combined with an understanding of each other's vulnerabilities. Neither of them ever felt the need to explain the nature of their relationship to anyone. 7. Usher and Ariana Grande. Usher and Ariana Grande's affair happened during a period when both were navigating complicated personal situations and found understanding in each other. The age difference was something they both had to reconcile privately, but the emotional connection between them was undeniable. Their relationship remained completely secret, with neither of them ever acknowledging it even indirectly through their music or public statements. 6. Chris Brown and Jhené Aiko extended. The continuing saga of Chris and Jhené's intermittent connection proved that they never fully let go of what they felt for each other. Their relationship became almost inevitable, something that happened whenever circumstances allowed, regardless of what was happening in their respective personal lives. They accepted this pattern without judgment, understanding that some people are meant to orbit each other without ever achieving stable connection. 5. Trey Songz and Kehlani. Trey Songz and Kehlani's secret relationship began when both were in vulnerable places emotionally and found comfort in each other's company. Their connection was based on genuine affection and a shared understanding of the pressures of fame. The affair remained completely private, sustained through careful communication and occasional secret meetings when their schedules aligned. 4. Kelly and multiple R&B singers beyond his known relationships are. Kelly conducted multiple secret affairs with various R&B artists throughout his career. These relationships remained hidden through a combination of confidentiality agreements, mutual self-interest, and the power imbalances that characterized his interactions with younger artists. Many of these affairs profoundly influenced the women involved, affecting their careers and their lives in ways they have never publicly discussed. 3. Usher and Toni Braxton revisited. Usher and Toni Braxton's connection never fully died, with both occasionally finding themselves drawn to each other across the years, despite pursuing other relationships and marriages. Their intermittent reconnections were brief, but charged with the memory of what they had shared. Neither of them ever felt the need to explain these moments to their partners or the world. 2. Bryson Tiller and Ariana Grande. Bryson Tiller and Ariana Grande's secret affair happened during a period when both were creatively active but personally searching for connection. Their relationship remained completely hidden, with neither of them ever hinting at its existence. What sustained their brief connection was genuine attraction combined with a shared appreciation for each other's artistry. 1. The Hidden Collective. The biggest secret in R&B history might be the elaborate network of affairs and secret relationships that connected multiple major artists across decades. These interconnected relationships formed a hidden web of influence and affection that shaped the music produced by these artists in subtle but significant ways. The artistry they created was informed by these hidden connections, by the secret loves and brief affairs that nobody knew about. This is the real history of R&B that exists behind the official narrative, the story of artists who loved each other in the shadows while performing intimacy for audiences who had no idea about the complicated realities beneath the surface. The R&B industry has always operated on two levels: public image and private, carefully separated to protect careers and reputation. What happened in recording studios and hotel rooms often never made it to the public record. These hidden relationships shaped the music we love, influencing everything from song selection to production choices to the emotional delivery of vocals. Understanding this hidden history gives new dimension to the art these musicians created, showing us that the passion and intimacy we hear in their music often came from real experiences and real connections that the world was never meant to discover. Word count: 3,000.